Welcome to Stories of Hope. This is a podcast by the Dream Center.
Where you will hear from people who have stories that once seemed hopeless.
People whose stories of redemption and life transformation are so powerful, they can only be possible by the power of Jesus. Hey everybody, welcome back to Stories of Hope. If it's your first time here, my name is Brady and I'm one of our co-hosts, and this is Sarah Beach. She's on our team at Dream Center and has been an incredible co-host as well. As we enter in today's episode, this is actually our last episode of season 5, which is super exciting. It's been an awesome couple of months, and we've had a chance to just have a really some really cool conversations with a bunch of people around the Dream Center. And today we get to sit down with Christy Hansen, who is the director of our Santa Shoppe Program, which, if you're watching on YouTube, this is our Santa Shop, or at least one of the rooms. And she's also on our board and has been a part of the Dream Center for a long time. So thanks for being here, and
you're welcome.
Excited to get to chat and hear about Santa Shoppe. Something we always like to start out with is just, how'd you get involved with the Dream Center to begin with, and kind of what did that look like from the beginning?
I always looked for opportunities to be involved in the community. I had been involved as a volunteer for many years in Greenville, but I wanted to find something in Easley because we live in Easley. So I heard about the Dream Center. This was back in 2013, I believe. And so I just tried to find out about it, and heard some friends that I knew from a Bible study at a church in the local community in the past. And Shannon and Chris were two of those people. So I decided I'm going to go check it out. And so I started volunteering here, and I gave up the volunteer job that I did in Greenville and never looked back.
Yeah. What was your first serving role?
The very first thing I did was I volunteered at the first year of Santa Shoppe, which was in 2014. Yeah. And I was just a one-time volunteer. Yeah. And that kind of whet my appetite, and I decided, you know what, I really like this organization. I like what they believe. I like what they're doing. Yeah. And so just tried to get plugged in other ways. And one of the very first steady volunteer positions I held was I sat in the seat that Miss Joni has.
Wow.
And answered the phones every Monday. Miss Joni wasn't here yet. Right. Back then, Patrina was doing that job. And she only needed 4 days a week to work. So I said, I'll do it. Wow. So I sat there on Mondays all day.
That's awesome.
That is no easy task.
No, it is not.
Absolutely not.
I had to sit up there last year with Miss Joni during Santa Shoppe because I was over classes at the time. And I remember the day that it finished, me and her made eye contact, and we're just like, we're alive. And we did it, like high-fived. It was awesome.
It's draining. It's exhausting, but it's a really great way to really know fully all the things that the Dream Center does. Because
very
there's a
frontline ministry.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah, she's the boots on the ground for us before anybody else, which I'm super thankful for. And she's the kindest soul on the planet. So
absolutely.
I think we talk about Joni in almost most of our podcasts. It's
true. Especially with a lot of the people who have come through Opportunity Village. They're like, Miss Joni is my first point of contact.
Yes.
She's just, so Miss Joni, if you're listening, we love you dearly, and you're the best.
Absolutely.
So that's really cool about getting to volunteer at the first Santa Shoppe. So what did it look like for you going from one-time volunteer, this thing is kicking off, into, I'm going to head this thing up and, I don't know, be Mrs. Claus for the next, how long have you been doing it as the director?
As the director, I'm not sure, maybe 6 years now. Okay. I don't know. Patrina did it alongside with me until she had too many grandchildren and wanted to spend time with them. So that's when I kind of stepped in and took over as director. Yeah.
What was like one of the big things that as you stepped into the role that you were like, oh boy, like, or what was something that was super exciting? Kind of just how did that whole thing kind of start?
It's just so much fun to be able to pour into people and to see them, just see their eyes light up. And when they walk in here and they see something that was actually on their child's list that they wanted, to get for their child for Christmas, it's just amazing, that feeling that you get. I feel like I receive a whole lot more than they do. Yeah. Just seeing the clients from year to year, seeing some of the same clients from year to year, seeing how they're growing. I had a volunteer one time who she actually came through our program and needed assistance one year, and then she was back as a volunteer.
Wow. Beautiful.
So it's it's really fun when you see that full circle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
come
that's
around.
awesome.
Yeah.
You've also mentioned Patrina a couple times, so I'm going to take this moment to say, Patrina, if you're listening, you're on the next season, so get ready. I've been trying to get her to like every time I see her, I'm like, hey, you need to be on the podcast. She's like, I'm like, okay.
She does. Yeah, she's done a lot of different
Boom.
things.
See, there we go.
Perfect.
There we go.
That's awesome.
So how did you get to be over Santa Shoppe? Because you were one-time volunteer, you were at the front desk. So what point did you switch? At what point did you transition to being in charge of it?
From the very first year, I'd been involved as a volunteer in Santa Shoppe every other year moving forward. And like I said, Patrina and I kind of did it together. She really did most of the admin kinds of things, and I actually worked on, setting up the shopping rooms and, getting donations and that kind of thing, and going through those and processing those. And then when she left, I just kind of took over the admin stuff and the other stuff, but had some great ladies and men come alongside. We call them elves.
Yep.
So cute.
And they work with me year round. And by year round, we kind of take most of the summer off, but we're in here like one day a week, starting September through October. And then once November rolls around, that kind of picks up. And then, of course, we take, a week off at Thanksgiving. But I couldn't do it, without assistance, because it's just too much.
Yeah.
Speaking of setting up, let's talk about the fact before you moved in this building. I want to hear the story about when you were still at the main campus building.
Wow. That very first year, everything took place in classroom 1.
Jeez. Oh my gosh.
And it was crazy. For the next several years, I'm not great with keeping track of time, but for at least 2 to 3, 4 more years, we did that. We would decorate and set up the entranceway where the general store is. That was where we had gift wrap.
Wow.
And we eventually ended up with 2 classrooms. So we had a red and green shopping room and then a silver and gold shopping room. But we had to decorate every year.
Right.
And then we had to pack it all up into boxes and store it in a room. And then we moved down the hall to where, not Shine, the food ministry, that 5 Point does.
Oh, yes. Yes.
We moved down to that area, and we didn't have to break down every year, so that was great. But we still had, space issues and storage issues and all that good stuff. And then when we moved here, it's just been wonderful because once it got decorated, it's done. We don't have to do it again. Occasionally, we'll have to relight a tree if the lights have gone out. But
I just think that shows the Lord's favor on the ministry.
Yeah.
Of giving you this massive space to be able to work and function and keep it up year round. I think it's incredible. It's absolutely amazing.
And we do work year round. We get stocking stuffers year round. We get socks and underwear donated, and we have to break those packages down into sets of 3. And that takes a lot of time, volunteer manpower.
Yeah. It's also really cool to see. I mean, this building that we're in now, you've got, 6, 7 rooms here? 6 plus is that including the auditorium?
No.
So 6, 8 if you can, how big that one is. But it's just cool to see, and also just impressive how, the room right next to us, all the socks and everything, how they're all sorted out, the wrapping room, all the different. It's really cool every time I get to come in here just to look around and be like, if I was someone in this, needing this program and in this, I would feel so cared for and loved just by looking around and the amount of effort and care put into this room. So it's just really, really cool to see. And I'm just so grateful as a whole.
That's one of the things we have comment cards that we have our clients fill out before they leave. And whenever I have a day that's just been super busy and I feel like I can't get everything done, I'll just take a minute and I'll sit down and I'll pull some of these cards out and read through them. And it just reminds me of, okay, this is why we're here. This is the reason that we're here. And it's just so rewarding.
Yeah.
And I usually put 1 or 2 up on the refrigerator here in this room so that the elves can see them, so that they too can feel appreciated. And it's not that they do feel appreciated, but it's just nice, to hear and to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's nice to be able to see it instead of a secondhand, they got to call it the Dream Center thanking, and then they wanted to pass the message along. It's here it is right in front of your face with the person's handwriting and all that kind of stuff. So That's pretty cool.
Let me read a couple
Yeah, I'd
comments
love
from
to.
these. One client says, I love being able to take classes and shop for my kids. Another one said their favorite thing about the program was to be able to earn gifts for their kids
Wow.
and to learn through the classes.
Right.
They talk about how amazing all the people are, how much they feel loved and appreciated, and how much they feel poured into. Another client said their favorite thing was, the classes that they take and earning it.
Yeah.
So they've
Very
done
cool.
something and they get to come and pick out their own gifts for their own kids. It's what we call two-way giving.
Yeah.
The parents do something and then they get to come and select their own gifts for their kids. Many have commented about how, wow, this just looks just like Walmart, except cleaner.
Yeah, right. It's also shout out to Allison for classes this year. She's doing a great job with that. And
Absolutely.
Miss Joni and Hannah, and just the way that it's Hannah's first time. She was on the podcast a couple weeks ago, and it's just cool to see all of them like working together to just make this experience great all the way around. And
Absolutely.
so much patience and grace and so many things that just like they've just done such a good job, and it just is so encouraging to watch them get to partner with you guys, even if it's not directly side by side building wise. It's really cool to see.
Absolutely. And could not do this
Yeah.
without them in those classes,
Right.
for sure.
Right.
We had a client come in the other day. It was just so neat. I was standing in the hallway, and as she came to check out to, finish up, and she said, I cannot believe this. The scooter that my son wanted, that he actually asked for, was in here.
Oh my
And I
gosh.
got to pick that. And she'd done another program in previous years.
Yeah.
She said, I'm so glad I came to the Dream Center. And I
Wow.
got to find, something that my son really, really, really wanted
Yeah.
that I couldn't afford.
Man.
But because of the classes that I took, I was able to select that for him.
It's so beautiful. And it's just cool to see how many people like jump all in on this program as a whole. Like I brought, half a truckload this morning. I brought a full truckload last week. Like it's just like constantly, once things get rolling, people are all in on providing. I mean, all these gifts are provided for this ministry. And it's just cool to see the Lord work out. Like a mom who wants a specific gift was brought by someone who they'll probably never meet and just wanted to like make sure they got to help with somebody's Christmas, which is just, it's just beautiful.
It's truly a community effort.
Yeah.
It's not even just the Dream Center, because all of our donors, so many churches, so many individuals, so many businesses,
Yeah.
so many like groups that meet, like women's Bible studies or whatever, that meet together and they want to give back, and they say, hey, what do you need? And it just seems like God always provides a donation drop off on the day that we
Right.
need it.
Yeah.
Shameless plug, we do have an Amazon wish list on our website.
that's
If you or your organization or church want to donate,
Yeah.
we do have that there.
That's great.
And I update that weekly. I pull things off
Yeah.
that we've already gotten enough of that item, so I pull that off and I put something else on that we kind of need. Shopping for tweens and teens is challenging.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet.
Never know what to go get.
Right.
But there are times, some organizations give us a financial donation, and so then I get to go and shop, and that's always very challenging.
Yeah. You're not just going to go buy a bunch of PS5s and let them sit around, That's a bit much, but also, why not?
Why not?
I don't think we've ever had a PS5.
Okay, there it is.
There we
Another
go,
plug.
guys.
Somebody get one.
A Nintendo Switch Lite is about as
I mean, that's amazing.
high as we've gotten
That's
into the
great.
gaming. Yeah.
We'll look out for a PS5 now. That's so funny. Obviously, with the podcast being Stories of Hope, and we want this platform to always be something that people can walk away feeling encouraged and feeling, obviously at Christmas time, hope is always the extra, it's thrown in there a little bit more than normal. But what's one of like the just, it could be a yearly thing, it could be a one-time thing. Like what's just one of the stories that, like when you look back on this program as a whole, just like always gives hope and always encourages, or that you think would be encouraging for people to hear?
Our clients, seeing the joy in their face when they get to come in here and pick out their own gifts for their kids, and knowing that it's not something that's just being handed to them, that they've done something that's enabled them to come and do that. Seeing the joy on their face, seeing the tears run down, and being able to, physically give them a hug and say, we're so glad that you're here. We want you to come back again next year. We want you to keep taking classes so that you can earn those dream dollars, and you can go to one of our resale stores and you can shop and buy the things that you need for your family. there's a way for you to do it.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. What's one of the, as we kind of wrap up our time here, what would you say is like one of the biggest impacts personally that like either, again, a specific moment or that when you look at the volunteers or obviously the clients or just like the whole thing, like what's just one thing that internally has like really shifted for you as far as just seeing the impact and the change and the things that have happened inside of Santa Shoppe that maybe you look back before and you're like, I don't know that I had that outlook before this?
Absolutely. I think one of the things that keeps me coming back to the Dream Center and that keeps me here is God has shown me that, you know, we're all one day, 1 hour, one decision
Right.
away from being in a situation that a lot of our clients are.
Yeah.
And that means that they're just the same as I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no different. I'm no better.
Right.
We're all equal.
Yeah.
And it takes love and it takes community and it takes offering that hope. Some days I need that hope offered to me, and I see it in our clients' faces, and that gives me hope that there's still goodness in the world,
Right.
and there's still people out there who give and who love and who want to serve their community. You know, there was a client just this week, and she was sitting on the ground in the wrapping room, and she was writing out her answers on her comment card. And she said, you know, the one thing my daughter really wanted that I can't find anywhere is a snow globe. And I knew that there was a little snow globe. It wasn't big, it was tiny, but it was sitting out on the shelf as a part of our decorations. And I picked up that snow globe and I said, here you go. And just being able to, you know, fill that one request for somebody, that just, it makes the season for me.
Gosh, that almost got me. I like
Yeah.
back-to-back episodes. I've just about cried. So great job, everybody. That's just so, and I mean, also just the immediate, like the awareness for you to be able to be like, wait, I think that's sitting around somewhere, and just knowing that you can help provide and make it a little bit better for that family is so cool, and I love that so
And that I
much.
happened to be,
Yeah.
you know, there to hear her say
Yes.
that, because I wasn't in a conversation with her. She
Right.
was talking to one of the ladies who had helped her wrap gifts. And I said, I think we have one of those. And I just grabbed it and said, here.
Gosh, that's so beautiful.
You have a very kind heart. A
Yes.
very kind heart.
Well, they call me Mrs. Claus, so I better,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta walk the walk if you got the title, right?
Yeah. But I just can't tell you how much joy it gives me to see our clients and to see their smiles. And, you know, most of them say when they go into gift wrapping, well, I've never wrapped a gift before. I don't know how. Hey, we've got volunteers here. They're here specifically to help you and to teach you, and they learn how to wrap a gift. And they're in there wrapping gifts for their kids.
Gosh, it's so cool. I'm just so thankful that we get the opportunity to be just a small part of it, and that we have so many people who are bought all in on not just the Dream Center, but the Santa Shoppe. And it's just, like I said, it's just so beautiful to watch it happen. And it is hectic for everyone once September hits every year.
Yes.
But and we're filming this episode in the last week of classes. Like, classes end Thursday of this week that we're filming this episode, and like I know that we're gonna get to Friday, and I'll be like, yeah, that was really great. And it's just
Not Friday,
sorry,
Saturday.
Saturday for
Saturday.
shopping. My bad. I was thinking classes, so sorry. But just getting to the end and being like, yeah, this was like totally worth it, and I can't wait for it next year as well.
Yep.
So, but just like thank you for everything that you've done and everything that you do for us, and you're so kind to our staff and so loving, and we're just so grateful that you are a part of our team. And just thank you.
It's so great to be a part of the team.
Yeah.
It really is. And I feel like a part of the team, even though I'm the stepchild in a separate building.
No.
I'm not really a
Hey,
stepchild. But
you may feel that way, but also on campus when it says Christy Hansen needs something, everybody drops everything to make sure it gets done.
That is true. That is so true.
We are in your corner.
I've seen that happen. That's amazing. I guess what I miss sometimes is just the fellowship.
Yeah,
and,
for
and being
sure.
able to see
Yeah.
and interact with clients before they get to here.
Right.
But I get to see the best part. So
Right.
You do. You really do.
I
Right.
really do.
That's so awesome. Well, thank you for being on this. I know that this is out of your comfort zone, so just thank you for doing this. And it was, I mean, everything was so beautifully said, and I know that this is going to encourage a lot of people. And then also just one last little thing, I would just love to, Santa Shoppe donations and being able to assist this program is not just a September through December thing. We're always needing stuff. The Amazon list is always updated, like Christy mentioned. And so if there's any time that you or your church or part of your community wants to be a part of this program, please just dreamcenterpc.org and you'll find Santa Shoppe on there and you can find ways to give. So, we'll see if we get some more donations in, but
that'd be great. Anything that comes in, we save, and that helps us get started next year, because it's hard for people to get their minds wrapped around Christmas until Thanksgiving is over.
Yeah.
But our first shopping day is always the Thursday immediately following Thanksgiving. So we need to have a lot of great things in and a lot of variety for our clients to choose from. So,
perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you all for tuning into this episode, and we'll see you on the next season of Stories of Hope.